from Washington, this is VOA News. The death toll now exceeds 140 after an earlier militant attack in Nigeria earlier this week. And U.S. President Obama criticizes U.S. House-passed budget bill. I'm Vincent Bruce reporting from Washington. Nigerian officials say the death toll from an attack by Islamist militants believed to be from the group Boko Haram earlier this week has risen to 143. An official with the Environmental Protection Agency says authorities have been collecting corpses since the attack took place Tuesday in northeastern Borno state. In a separate incident Friday, Nigerian officials say 9 suspected members of Boko Haram were killed in a gun battle with security agents in the capital, Abuja. Nigeria's spokeswoman, Marilyn Ogar.
Arms were buried underground at this site. And so a joint security team had to proceed to recover the arms. So when they got here, they came under attack. And of course, they had to respond back.
The state security force says several other people were wounded in the early morning clash, which happened in an unfinished home in a community for Nigerian lawmakers. Bowing to strong U.S. and Russian pressure, Syria has begun handing over an inventory of its chemical weapons stockpile to international monitors in The Hague. From Moscow, James Brooke looks at Russia's changing role in Syria and its key role in international mediation in the Syrian crisis.
Russia, the United States, and Ukraine are volunteering experts and equipment to help Syria meet a mid-2014 deadline for destroying all its chemical weapons. Chemical weapons destruction is one area where Russia, the heir to the Soviet Union, stands on equal footing with the United States. But some question whether the Kremlin will keep pressuring Assad to destroy such a powerful military asset. Konstantin von Eggert is a Russian journalist in Damascus.
There is no guarantee, and Mr. Putin said it himself, that Assad will actually follow or live up to all the agreements he may sign.
James Brooke, VOA News, Moscow.
For more, go to voanews.com. In a published statement, Iran's newly elected president Hassan Rouhani has pledged to join in constructive dialogue with world powers, continuing his engagement with U.S. media. Mr. Rouhani says in an opinion piece in the Washington Post late Thursday that gone is the age of blood feuds. He says world leaders are expected to lead by turning threats into opportunities. Mr. Rouhani is scheduled to make his first appearance as Iran's president on the world stage at next week's UN General Assembly in New York. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a temporary funding measure that would keep the government operating but defunds President Barack Obama's signature health care law. House Speaker John Boehner argues that a majority of Americans are against the Affordable Care Act, which Republicans refer to as Obamacare.
Our message to the United States Senate is real simple. The American people don't want the government shut down, and they don't want Obamacare.
The Republican-controlled House passed the measure Friday by a vote of 230 to 189, largely along party lines. The resolution will now go to the Democratically controlled Senate, where it is unlikely to pass, setting the stage for a potential partial government shutdown if a budget agreement is not reached by the end of the month. As U.S. President Barack Obama harshly criticized the Republican-led House of Representatives for their vote Friday, while speaking to auto workers at a plant in Kansas City, Missouri, Mr. Obama criticized Republican leaders who were willing to allow the U.S. government to shut down and go into default over the Health Care Act.
They're actually willing to plunge America into default
if we can't defund the Affordable Care Act.
Pakistan says it will release a key jailed Afghan Taliban leader on Saturday. Pakistan's Foreign Office said in a statement on Friday that Abdul Ghani Baradar, the Taliban's former second-in-command, was being freed to further facilitate the Afghan reconciliation process. Nearly 100 people have died in Mexico from the onslaught of huge storms that hit the country on both coasts. Luis Felipe Puente, Mexico's National Civil Protection Coordinator, said the death toll from days of floods and landslides stood at 97 due to massive flooding and landslides triggered by Hurricane Ingrid on the Gulf Coast and Tropical Storm Manuel on the Pacific Coast. For all the latest, go to voanews.com. I'm Vincent Bruce, VOA News, Washington.